safe day for me. Yes, we definitely being safe out here. Listen though, I had some stuff on my heart, and I was like, let me just go ahead and get to my regular scheduled programming and hop on the line. Sometimes transition is very, very uncomfortable. Getting out of old habits that no longer suit your current season is definitely a difficult thing to do, and I just wanted to encourage anybody who is currently in that season. Like, if you're in the process of better understanding yourself, and it's probably leading to certain revelations that are making you, or putting, I ain't gonna say making you, but putting you in a position to where you can see yourself differently, you know? You have to begin to understand that, you know, the habits or the routines that you currently have, they're not indicative of you getting where it is you're trying to go. So I just wanted to encourage y'all, if you're in a uncomfortable season of transition, where you're headed to, the destination will not change. Even if the road that you're traveling becomes uncomfortable, even if the things that you have to do, the sacrifices that you have to make, it gets harder to understand, you know what I mean? Like, why am I doing this? Or how is this going to work out? Or, you know, like, am I actually going to get to where it is I'm trying to go by making these sacrifices? And I will say that sacrifices, on the other side of a sacrifice, is always something better. Anything that you're willing to give up to get to where you're going to be is going to be blessed later. And sometimes it's hard to see that, though. Sometimes it is so hard to see that, because we get so stuck in the habit of what's comfortable and whatever we're used to, you know, and that becomes a crutch, and it becomes an excuse for us to keep doing whatever it is that we're doing. But the reality is like, without sacrifice, there's really no success. There's really no success. I know even for myself, like, there's times where I want to continue on with things that I'm used to doing with my time, you know, the more leisurely things, the things that are less involved with work and etc. And like, sometimes you just have to be accountable. Like, me doing the regular is not going to get me to exponential growth. It's not going to help me do better or see better or end up in a different destination that I'm headed towards. So, man, I'm telling you, like, even me personally now, like, I'm in a major season of transition, man, and I've been in this transition for quite some time. I've been preparing for big energy. I've been preparing for everything else that's beyond big energy, you know, the different relationships that you build that will put you in the rooms that you know you're supposed to be in, rooms that you're destined to conquer. Sometimes that transition gets hard, though. Sometimes that transition gets uncomfortable, you know, like, you can't always see the bigger picture in small steps sometimes, and that's just the reality. So I just want to encourage y'all, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling like you're kind of stuck or you're at a standstill and you don't really understand, you know, why you're doing what you're doing, let me encourage you in your why. Remember your destination. Remember your destination and whatever it is you're doing. If you're trying to be a doctor, if you're trying to be a teacher, if you're trying to be a motivator, if you're trying to start your own business in whatever field, like, remember your destination. Because the reality is all of your sacrifice is going to yield progress. And the progress of you having better habits and more consistency and a stronger mindset, all of those are going to help you along the way of you being the best version of yourself and doing whatever it is that you're really trying to do and accomplish, man. Like, it's so underrated. Like, change can be so underrated. Yeah, thank you. No problem, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, when I get on here and I be talking, it be the stuff I be going through. Like, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in business, whether it's with family. Like, the reality is that sometimes we just need reassurance. I sure know I do. Sometimes I gotta sit and I gotta talk to myself in the mirror. And being on these lives, sometimes it's like I'm talking to myself in the mirror. It's like, you know what, Kayla, like, no matter how uncomfortable this current season that you're in is, no matter how difficult it is on some days for you to see, you know, the end, to keep focusing on the destination. Keep focusing on the destination. don't forget to take heed to the journey now. Because you got to make sure that you're learning stuff along the way and that you're becoming better. But the reality is the more that you focus on your destination, the more that you're going to be able to pivot and keep that laser focus. It's so important. Because, man, on the day-to-day, like, some days are better than others. And most people don't want to admit that. Like, some days you wake up and you're so motivated and you're so inspired and you can see everything and everything is adding up and, you know, you hitting whatever plays are going through smoothly, man. And, like, you know, money is hitting your account as it's supposed to, and, you know, plans are being executed as you foresee them. And then it's like there's other days, man. There's other days where it gets slow and where you find that you're encountering more hiccups and that you are having less of a reliability on your vision because everything that you want to happen just isn't happening on your time. And those are the times where you need reassurance the most. And then especially if you're in a position to where you don't have a partner, you know what I mean, or a solid sandbox in your corner, like, let me be the one to say, keep going, man. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Today was one of them days where, like, I made progress, but I didn't all the way feel progressive. But it was like at the same time, the more I got on my timeline and people were, you know, reposting my videos and they were DMing me words of encouragement, and I just had to be like, you know what? This is my reassurance. You see, I be looking for it in a said given person, and the reality is like God just keeps sending me more people. And so I keep having to remind myself it's bigger than me. You know what I mean? Like, it is bigger than me. And even on days where I want to just go and crawl in a corner and be like, man, I just want to focus on me, it's still bigger than me, you know? Even being able to be transparent about the fact that, like, okay is not always okay. Sometimes okay is just you making an agreement that I understand I'm supposed to get somewhere, but I'm not quite certain how I'm going to do it. I'm not quite certain how I'm going to muster up the courage this time, how I'm going to keep myself inspired to reach the destination. I'm not certain about that right now, but the reality is like, I'm still going to be okay, you know? I'm going to be okay because I understand that the destination is in my GPS and I'm on the road that is less traveled. And so I'm not always going to get the step-by-step, play-by-play from the people and the things around me, because where I'm going is somewhere that nobody has ever been, you know? It's something that I've never seen before, you know? Having a healthy, progressive relationship is something I've never experienced. It's something that I've never seen be experienced. I've only watched it from afar. So if I'm having difficulty figuring out how to maneuver in them type of situations, it's okay. Because the destination is still the destination, even if I don't quite understand every nook and cranny of the road that I'm traveling, you know? In business, I've never seen a clothing brand built from scratch. So if I get on here and I don't quite understand how I'm supposed to market it, or if I don't understand every single person that I walk up to can be a customer, like, I'm still learning. And that's what I want you to give yourself grace for right now. Is like, I'm still learning. I don't have all the answers, and I don't claim to have all the answers. I'm sure y'all can already know from my Big Energy platform, I've always preached that, like, I'm human. You know what I mean? Like, but I believe there's a power in sharing your journey. There's a power in the transparency that comes with being able to admit, like, I'm not okay on this day, but I'm gonna be okay on that day. Or I don't understand this right now, but I will take the time to learn it. I will put the energy and the grit and the grind behind getting everything that I desire to have, you know, or being everything that I desire to be. I'm gonna do that. And no matter what anybody says, or no matter what comes down my path, and no matter how many times I reach a hiatus and then I get knocked back down, I'm gonna keep getting back up, because there's a power in being able to rise up when you've been knocked down. There's a power in being able to pick yourself up when you're not sure how you're gonna take your next step. It's important. It's important to be reassured. And there's nothing wrong with admitting, hey, I need somebody to tell me it's going to be okay, because me talking to myself in the mirror right now, it just isn't enough. you know. And I appreciate that. Y'all who are putting in that I have your support, I appreciate that. But seriously, like, there's some days, honestly, y'all, where I get on here and it'll be like I will be the least motivated that you would probably don't even think that I reach those type of bits of energy. And then, man, I get on here and I'll get some encouraging message, or I watch a cool live, or I see a cool motivational video. And like, that's another reason why you have to be so cognizant of the things that you follow and the people that are within your realm of reach in your mind, because the things that you follow, those are the things that are used as tools for you to keep yourself motivated. And I'm telling you, if you get on here and you're having a bad day and you look on your social media and you see nothing but negativity, you see nothing but chaos and drama, like, you'll fall victim to that, you know? That type of stuff, it's hard to reassure yourself when the shit that you're trying to get away from is the shit that you're engulfing yourself in. You know what I'm saying? So also be cognizant of that too. Like me, I have unfollowed a lot of like the big blogs and stuff like that, because even though I know eventually that information will probably circulate around in a conversation of people, I don't gotta continue to indulge in it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to continue to indulge in that area. I want to follow motivational pages. I want to follow people who are giving readings and providing clarity, because that's the path that I'm on. I want clarity. I don't want to keep being unclear, you know? I don't want to keep retaliating and resorting back to old habits and old ways because that's what's comfortable. I just want to be better. You know, I want to be the best version of me. I want to inspire the best version in other people. And in order to do that, you have to do different shit. You have to be different. And that's what I'm standing on. Like, I want to be treated differently, so I got to move differently. I got to think differently. I got to act differently. Like, and I made a video like 2 years ago, and it was like, man, I'm somebody's wife, which it entails a different due process. Like, I can't operate in the same capacity in relationships as most people because I'm somebody's wife. You know what I mean? I can't get bitter. I can't let the coldness of the world or the disappointment of people, I can't let it harden my heart because I'm somebody's wife. You know? I'm bigger than that. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, like, when you encounter small shit, it's hard not to feel small. But let me encourage you in that too. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and remember who you are. And if you don't remember who you are, tell somebody who can reaffirm who you are. You know what I'm saying? Go get the reassurance that you need. Don't stay stuck. Don't be stubborn. You know what I mean? Like, don't engage in the pride and the ego that is the majority of everything and all that we see and engage in. Like, if you need something, then speak on it. If you want something, then go for it. Manifest it. Like, there's a true power of the tongue. Like, we gotta start speaking what we want. I'm somebody's wife. I want a healthy relationship. I want a healthy partner. I want to be able to speak life into whatever said man, and I want to be able to grow at a rapid rate. And I don't have no problem admitting that. I don't have no problem admitting that I'm looking for love, and I know it's going to find me, because guess what? The more that I keep talking about it, the more that it's going to come to me. You know what I mean? I want healthy situations. I want healing. You know what I mean? I don't want to stay stuck in old habits and shit that I seen my mama do. Like, I want to be better than that. And I'm not saying it because I'm attacking her. I'm saying it because I know that's what she wants from me. She wants me to be better. She wants me to do better. That's, as a parent, I want my daughter to be 20 steps ahead of the game. You know what I mean? Like, in business and relationships, as a woman, I want her to grow exponentially. And I know that I got to manifest that. I got to speak that in order for that to be my reality. So I encourage you to speak it. Speak that shit over yourself, man. Even if it's just you looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, if it's you having to go talk to somebody who you know will listen, man, stop being ashamed to talk and communicate. Communication is 9/10 of the law. Like, you got to be able to talk about what you want. You got to be able to speak it into existence. You got to be able to express yourself in a healthy way so that you can get that shit off your chest and move forward. Stop thinking that holding it in is going to solve your problem, because 9 times out of 10 it's probably driving you more crazy. That's why I get on here and I do lives and I engage with people and I have productive conversations. That's why I talk so much. It's not because I don't want to listen. It's because, man, I just be having so much on my heart. Man, I be needing to get it out. I be needing to talk about it. I be needing to see clearly. And sometimes as I'm talking through my thoughts and I'm expressing myself, I gain a clarity that I can't even really describe beyond it's what I need. You know what I mean? Like, boy, I've had some of the most productive conversations in the midst of chaos in the last couple days. And like, it'd be a beautiful thing, because on the other side of uncertainty is certainty. You can't have one without the other. So if you feel uncertain, let it out. Ooh, say it. That's somebody that said in the comment. Let it out. Express yourself. You know what I mean? If there's something that you're missing, either go get it or tell somebody who can go get it for you, because staying stuck is just not an option no more. Crying in a corner, it's not an option no more. Like, you gotta tell yourself that, and you gotta manifest that. Like, I'm not gonna stay stuck because I wanna be the best version of me. Man, I don't want mediocrity anymore, man. I don't want subpar. I don't want half-ass relationships. I don't want temporary shit anymore. I want permanent things. Like, I want to grow that. I want to plant seeds, and I want to water them, and I want to watch them grow. I want to water my own garden. I made a video earlier and I said that, and I mean it, and I stand on it. I want to water my own garden, boy. And I want to be able to see the fruits of my labor. I want to be able to sit in my garden and bask in the experience that I've had. I want to be able to know that I've overcome certain things. I've learned certain things, and I became better in that. And like, a lot of people are afraid to go out and ask and seek what they need for them to be better. And I encourage you, don't be that person. Don't stand scared, because scared money don't make money. And sometimes it's deeper than the money. Like, if you're not at your best self, you're not going to be able to execute the play correctly, which means you might fuck up the check. So I'm encouraging you to be better. Think better. Think outside the box, man. Like, if you're not okay, then do what is necessary for you to be okay. Go find that peace. Find that solace. Like, find that certainty. Whatever it is that you need to be reassured of yourself, like, go do it. If you need to call somebody who you haven't talked to in a while, and your pride has been keeping you stuck because you're afraid you may overburden that person, man, I encourage you, go have the conversation. Because 9 times out of 10, that energy is probably on their heart. They're probably waiting on that phone call. And you just ain't made it because you letting pride and ego get in the way of what it is you're trying to accomplish. So I encourage you, do what is necessary for you to be your best self, you know? Whatever is holding you back right now, like, do what is necessary to unstick yourself. Like, water that glue, man. Like, go and figure out what it is you need. And if you can't figure out what you need, have a conversation with somebody who can help you understand what you need. Because the reality is, we live in a sad time, like a sad era. It's so much chaos. There's so much, lack of love. Like, and so the best thing you can do for yourself is to love yourself enough to want better. Don't let, like, the mundane nature of the society that we live in and the way that people operate, don't let it change your ambition for trying to be better. Don't let it discourage you, If you're not okay, it's cool. Tell somebody, boy. Like, I'm big on that. Like, communication is 9/10 of the law. I'm going to keep saying it. Like, be a good communicator. If you can't have a conversation with yourself about it, find somebody who will listen. Find somebody who will give you good feedback. Consider your room. And if you don't have at least one person that you can go to and you can have these conversations with, then I'm telling you, got to reevaluate. What am I doing and putting out that my circle is this sparse? Why does my circle lack substance? Ask yourself that. If you want your circle to have substance, you have to be of substance. You have to do things that are of substance. And so if you want to grow in that, you got to be able to readjust yourself. You got to be able to be accountable for it. You know what I mean? Like, man, I want better, but I'm not around better. I'm not surrounding myself by better. I don't even have nobody who I can call. I used to be that person. I'd be like, damn, I don't have nobody. And then I realized, like, no, it's not that you don't have nobody. There's somebody out there for you. You just ain't went and took the time or the energy or the space for you to go find them. You haven't done your part. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the part you got to be accountable for. You ain't did your part yet. You want healthy friends and family around you, man. It starts with you. It starts with you. Look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, who do I want to be? Who am I? What do I want to grow in? Like, what do I want to be? And once you determine that, then create a strategy for yourself, man. Start creating more healthier habits. Spend more time with yourself. Spend more time with the people who matter to you. And if the people who matter to you aren't the best for your current season, then go step into rooms where they are good for your season and they can help you get there. But first, you got to understand the destination in your GPS, y'all. You got to understand where you're going. Then that's why I keep preaching, like, get in the driver's seat, man. And look at your GPS and put in the destination. Like, where do I want to be? Who do I want to be? How am I going to get there? 9 times out of 10, like, you can't even have a productive conversation with somebody who you're seeking advice from if you have no idea where you're trying to go. So you gotta tell somebody. You gotta have a conversation with yourself, you know, and then move forward from there. I just want to encourage y'all, man. The reality is, man, I appreciate that you one of one. And the most powerful thing about being one of one is that your impact lasts forever. That's why I can't do small things. I can't retaliate the way that people retaliate. I can't speak and use the same tone that most people use, because I always have to go back to the fact that your words are going to weigh in 10 times heavier than the average Joe. So you can't do what everybody else does, you know? You got to make sure that you're holding yourself to a higher standard, because you want better feedback. You want bigger impact. Like, you got to be different. And for everybody who's watching, like, if you feel like you're discouraged, I encourage you to encourage yourself. Figure out what it is that is missing right now. Like, get to the bottom of it and stop distracting yourself in the mundane nature of everyday life, because that routine is never going to change, you know? That routine is always going to be the same. You're always going to have to go to work. You're going to have to hustle, and you're going to have to pay these bills, and you're going to have to take care of these kids, and that's never going to go anywhere. But don't you want to do it in a happier state of being? Don't you want to do it and be able to regurgitate to your children what healthy habits are? You know what I mean? What a healthy cycle of love and relationships is. Don't you want to be different? Like, 9 times out of 10, we all unlearning unhealthy behaviors that we saw as kids. And the goal as a parent should always be for you to be better. You know what I'm saying? For your kids to have more and for them to see better so that they can do better and they can be greater than you ever were. You know what I mean? And so if you really, really feel that way and you adjust yourself to that, having that mentality, then I can unlearn the behaviors before I ever pass on the habit. Like, you gotta ask yourself, man, like, do I want my kid to go through the shit that I go through? My daughter especially, man, I don't never want her to feel like she gotta go find love. I want her to know she's worthy of it. It's gonna come to you. It's gonna be at your front doorstep, and all you gotta do is work to maintain it. And that's gonna be our legacy. Our legacy will no longer be hurt women who overly invest themselves and plant seeds and water fields that aren't meant for them to water them, to stay put in unfertile soil because that's just what you've seen. Like, that's not the legacy no more. The legacy is bigger than that. Like, this generation is so fucked up because we was all trying to coexist in the habits of the generation prior to us, and social media brought to the light all the shit that was happening in the background. And so when it came to the surface, we didn't know how to handle it because it was never addressed. So, like, now we're at a season of life and like, we're at this epitome of, existing to where it's like we have a decision to make. If you don't think that it's okay for him to go do XYZ or her to go do XYZ, then you got to learn how to be better people. You got to learn how to create healthier habits. You got to learn how to unlearn what you have seen, what you grew up in, what you've been conditioned in. Like, you got to do the work to do that, though. Because the reality is if you really don't want it for your kids, if you don't want your daughters to be experiencing, like, this is for ladies now, like, if you don't want your daughter to be crying the way you've cried, if you don't want her to be uncertain the way that you've been uncertain, you got to teach her differently. And the only way you're going to teach her is if you do it. Men, if you want to teach your kings how to operate as being a good, sound man, you got to be a good, sound man. You got to do the work. If you want to teach them, it's okay for you to express yourself. It's okay for you to have an opinion. To my little black boys, it's okay for you to understand I'm worthy of everything they say I can't be. Then you got to show that. Like, you got to believe that. You got to stand on that. Like, and because if you're not standing on it, you're the person who they look up to. You're the person who they believe in. You're the person who they're going to take heed to and understand that imprint. I'm changing the trajectory of how my daughter's going to operate as a woman. And so on the days, like I keep saying, remembering your destination, on the days where it gets hard and I get uncertain and I'm like, damn, I'm tired of this. Like, I keep remembering, like, man, I'm just laying the groundwork for you, baby girl. You know? Yeah, heck yeah. The girl dads too. Teach your young queens how a man is supposed to treat and love them and embody them and honor them as the young queens that they are, so that when it comes time to them being, in a position to where it's time for them to be loved, they're not seeking it because they already know what it's supposed to look like. For your mothers with your sons, teach them how to responsibly love. Teach them how to responsibly cater to their emotions and express their emotions, because guess what? You don't want them to be culture shocked when it comes to these women. You want them to be able to communicate healthy so they can lead and create healthy, productive families. But like, we don't even create the realm for our children to be able to do that. So that's why I keep saying, like, the level of accountability that we have, man, I just want it to grow. And I'm praying and I'm manifesting with everybody who tunes in, everybody who gets on my page and watches a motivational video or reads a quote that speaks to them. I'm praying that you unlearn the habits that have led you to be where you are, and I'm praying that you conquer the things that have held you back once you acknowledge them. Like, once you figure it out and you look in the mirror, I pray you don't stay stuck. I pray that hurt doesn't overcome your progress. I pray that you continue to be who you're destined to be. I pray that you continue to have the endurance and the persistence for you to keep going in the ways that you're supposed to go. You keep driving. I pray that your gas tank continues to be full, and if it gets empty, I pray that you have enough time to get to the gas station to fill yourself back up. I pray that everything that you desire in your heart becomes your reality, because the reality is that we don't want to stay stuck. We want to stay progressive. So we have to do what is necessary to get where it is that we're trying to go. And so I pray that you can have clarity. I pray that you can see the destination in your GPS. I pray that you can see the bumps along the road. And I pray that you avoid as many as you can. And I pray that if you hit a bump in the road and a pothole and you get a flat tire, I pray that you get the help that you need in order for you to get back on the road, Because the reality is that sometimes we just need reassurance. So if nobody's praying for you, I'm praying for myself. I'm praying that I don't stay stuck. I'm praying that I can continue on to manifest the greatest big energy that there ever was. And I pray that big energy touches so many people that they now have and possess big energy. And now they can take their big energy to be the best versions of themselves and the best versions of, the mothers and the best friends and the wives and the husbands and the brothers and the fathers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I pray that we all get it, man. I pray that we all get big energy. And I pray that we all keep big energy. And I pray that anything that is set to destroy us will not win, even if it wins on a battle, boy. I hope it doesn't win the war. I pray it doesn't win the war, because I want us all to be great, man. Like, that's as simply as I can put it. I want us to all be great because I know we can all be great. So, I love y'all, man. And I pray that this live touched somebody's heart. And I'm going to start posting these on YouTube as my my car conversations, man. But look, to anyone who's uninspired, I pray that you get inspired. To anyone who is on their way home or on their way to somewhere where they're not supposed to be, I hope that you get a clearer sense of your direction and your destination. I pray that whatever is holding you back and keeping you stuck, I pray that you wake up renewed and that it is no longer keeping you stuck. I pray that whatever is weighing heavy on your heart becomes a little less heavy. I pray that whatever it is that you desire in your heart becomes a little bit more reachable. I pray that whatever it is that you need to still learn, that you're having difficulty understanding, becomes a little bit more teachable. I pray that you become everything that you're supposed to be. And I hope that you keep seeing the destination. And I pray that you never give up. So, I want all y'all to have an amazing night. I just arrived at my home. So I hope everyone gained something from this live. And I look forward to continuing on in big energy, y'all. We all growing together because we all are big energy.